Hi, Maggie here again. As promised, I've done this next video a little bit sooner. Now that I have access to a quiet space, I can do these a little bit more often. So once again, thanks to the local radio station here in Bisbee, KBRP 96.1, for letting me use their space. I thank them very much. I last week, or last time we did the video, we talked about presenting and trying to adhere to what people regard as normal for a woman. And this week I was listening to a song very recently, and it put me down another line of thought that's connected in some ways. But lately, people are wanting you to believe, or wanting the public to believe, that being transgender or being gay or being just different is a new thing. It's a new fad. It's a new disease almost, as far as they're concerned. And they like to try and do as they have done in the past, saying this will pass, or we'll try and cure people of it. But they miss the fact that, in fact, people have been gay, people have been transgendered for centuries. And it's not something that's new. It's not something that's a new fashion or fad. It's just that now they're trying hard to marginalize and victimize us. But I was going back through, several different sources, and if you look at different societies, some societies not only recognize people who are gay or transgender or whatever, but they actually venerate them. They actually make them special people in their communities or tribes. And that's carried through to a lot of different communities still today. There's a tradition of not only allowing and understanding, but, as I say, respecting and venerating people who have a different outlook on life and on themselves. And then you go back through and you pick up on a few other things. For example, a lot of you probably already know this, but the word drag comes from medieval theatre in England. At that point, most parts were acted by men, including the female parts. And there was a note on the script, if someone was doing a female part, that they had to dress resembling a girl. D-R-A-G, drag, and that's where drag came from. So, we're talking there, 1600s, 1600s. So that's, getting on for 400 or 500 years old. Also, you go back through more recent history, and there's been times when there's been more expression of, transgenderism. You look at the 20s, a lot of times there were people there who, particularly females, who dressed in a more male style, and there was also a lot of, at the time, more avant-garde attitudes, and people felt more free to express those things, but only in very limited areas, because unfortunately also along at that time there was the crackdown on where in a lot of places being gay or being anything else other than different was illegal and was severely clamped down on. For example, again, you go back to the Second World War, one of the things that helped win the war was actually cracking the German Enigma codes so that we knew what they were doing. And that involved the invention, effectively, of the modern day computer, and that was done by a gentleman by the name of Alan Turing. Obviously he was supported by other people, but he was very much the figurehead and the brains behind it. And effectively he helped the Allies win the war. And yet he was gay, and after the war he was persecuted for that, he was prosecuted for that, and his life was a misery up until his death. And that's how we treat someone who effectively helped us win the war. So at times we've been victimized and vilified, and it's so sad. But then I referred to a song I was listening to, and it was Bob Seger, Turn the Page. So that goes back to 1970. So we're looking at 55 years ago. And for another reason, he was drawing attention to the fact how people have continually had this attitude of not understanding or not realizing the differences between people, and for different reasons. If you don't mind, I'm going to read it so I don't misquote the lyrics, but it's just part of the lyrics. It just says, "Most times you can't hear them talk, other times you can. All the same old cliches. Is it woman? Is it man? And you always seem outnumbered, so you don't dare make a stand." And for him, it was just because, as was popular in the time for young musicians, whatever, he had longer hair, and he was getting a lot of pushback from people saying, "Oh, you're a woman or a man." So this whole attitude of misunderstanding or not being tolerant has been going on for a long time. It's not a new thing. And over time, we've made a lot of progress in that people have become more aware of differences and being gay and transgenderism. And there's been a lot of rights that have been enshrined in a lot of countries so that there is more freedom. But sadly, it seems as though, particularly in the US, we're on a bit of a downward trend on that for a while. But the main thing that I wanted to bring out as a plus is that when you're going through this, you're not new. You're not the only person. You're not a pioneer. You're not having to break new ground. This has all happened and been done before, and it's all happening and being done all over the world by a lot of people. So you're not alone, and it's not personal to you. It's a continuing lack of understanding or not wanting to embrace difference by other people. And you can take some comfort in knowing that you don't have to fight all of those battles all over again, or be, as I say, the pioneer to fight those battles for the first time. They've been done before. So save your energy for things that are important to you, because everybody's transition, if you're transgender, everybody's story about coming out, if you're gay or anything else, is personal. It's individual, and it's important that you hold on and save your energy for the things that are individual to you. All the other things have gone on and are still going on around you, and you can certainly be a part of that with the community, but don't feel you're doing it all on your own. You're not. But again, as it says in that, there's always seemed outnumbered. You're not outnumbered. You find your fellow community, and get some strength from that. And on that subject, I must give a shout out to the people back in Bloomington, Illinois, who I was with up until recently, particularly Mama. I think I've mentioned her before, at the Bistro in Bloomington, Illinois. They're coming up to their Pride Fest at the end of this month, and it'll be the 32nd year that she's been running the bar there. The Pride Fest has started a while back and is going from strength to strength. They've now got 2 stages going on at the same time. It's also celebrating the Pride Prairie Alliance. I think that's what it's called. I apologize if I butchered that. That's been going for 30 years. So again, these things aren't new. It's not a new invention or fad. It's been going on a while, and we celebrate the history. So become part of the community, get support from each other, And as I say, shout out to Mama and the war in Bloomington, Illinois. I'm so proud of you, and I miss you and love you lots. Anyway, got to go for now, but talk to you again soon. Big hugs. Please like, comment, or subscribe to any of this, and we'll see you again soon, okay? Bye for now. Bye.